Hey guys, and welcome into another edition of the Roy's Boys podcast, powered by Carolina Electrical Services. For all your electrical needs, call Jacob Marlowe at 704-320-7357, and he'll get you squared away. Josh here with you today. Anthony is away on business. He will be back tonight as we look ahead to the Duke game on Saturday. But today we're just going to focus on Tuesday's 79-66 win over Boston College. It wrapped up a perfect 9-0 road slate for Carolina, the first time they've done that in well over a decade. It was also their 15th ACC win, which is a program record. This is coming out a year after Carolina lost ACC veterans Joel Berry, Theo Pinson from last year's team. And think about teams that Roy Williams has had since the ACC moved to 16 games that never won 14 games. The 05 team didn't do it. The 09 team didn't do it. The 17 team didn't do it. The 12 team couldn't get to 15 ACC regular season wins. This really impressive stat by a team that wasn't picked to win the conference, and after a blowout home loss to Louisville in early January, there was a lot of questions about this team, but really can't say enough about the way they've responded since that game. They've come together as a group, matured, and gotten better every week, and that was evident Tuesday against Boston College. Luke May was a dominant force early, getting to double figures before the under-12 timeout, grabbed a career-high 20 rebounds, the first 20-rebound game since Bryce Johnson pulled down 20 against Duke in 2016 at the season-ending win in Cameron Indoor that year. And, of course, that was the win that kind of sparked that team's run to the national championship game. Cam Johnson continued to be the Cam Johnson we've expected, efficient, scored 22 points of 9 of 18 shooting. Then he gave us 12 rebounds, so whenever he gets active on the glass, that's just a plus. And overall, this team was active on the glass. They out-rebounded Boston College 60-35. That's a pretty big disparity for any game, let alone a conference game. We knew Boston College was going to be smaller on the inside, but still 25 rebounds or a 25 rebound margin is still a huge gap. I mean, Carolina had 20 offensive rebounds to just 7 for Boston College. Really just a dominant effort. And we've seen this team, as they didn't rebound the ball well against Clemson, it's like if they have a bad rebounding game the game before, their next game they're gonna be more focused, be more attentive, and give a much greater effort and normally dominate the glass. And that was the case against the Eagles. This was also another game where they didn't shoot the ball well, but yet they still find a way to get a manageable win on the road. Only 42% from the field and 32% from three, but it helps when you hold your opponent to 34% from the field and 33% from three. The defense has just turned up a notch. Really, since the Duke game, it's just seemed this team is much more locked in on the defensive end. They're more active, they're more engaged, they're talking, they're switching. They're getting in the passing lanes, doing all the little things that you got to do this time of year to be good on that end of the floor to try to help win a ACC championship and then, of course, make a run to the Final Four. And even though against a lesser opponent, the focus was a big key. They came out in the first half and pushed to a 23-point lead at halftime, effectively ending the game because Boston College just isn't good enough to come back from that. They used a big 32-9 run to build that margin for a game that was tied early in the first half. I said it after the Clemson game that they won there and won a game that the opponent was going to be more desperate than they are to win a game. And championship type teams win those games. Well, championship teams also go on the road and take care of business, even though there's a distraction waiting for you Saturday, which is the Duke Blue Devils, and a top 5 matchup and a chance to sweep your rival. And it's going to be senior night for Luke May, Cam Johnson, and Kenny Williams, and all those guys. But they focused on Boston College, took care of business, and got a real solid road win. I really just can't say a whole enough about it. Roy Williams was back on the sideline, so it was good to see that. No problems from the vertigo incident that happened against Clemson on Saturday. And I mean that's really about it. It's, really a short. I just wanted to give you my brief thoughts on a game that was over at halftime. And that's what we're here for. We'll have a full breakdown of the Duke game tonight. Anthony will be back joining me as we're going to fully preview that game, look ahead or look back to the game in February, and see what Carolina did well there. They're going to have to do well Saturday night to win. Talk about some of our favorite moments of the rivalry that's happened in Chapel Hill, not just in the Roy Williams era specifically, but under Dean Smith, under Bill Guthridge. Even Matt Doherty had some fun times against Duke, and we're going to talk about that. So make sure to check that out. We'll have that up for you tonight. I want to thank you guys for listening, and go Tar Heels.